It's one in the chronology, one the mouse, second the neck, third the pole. First of all, you should get the mouse. Relaxation, balance, submission, confidence. Secondly, it can be 1 week later, it can be 2 seconds later. Huh? Secondly, you should control the neck. It means if you don't get the mouse a bit, don't try to bend in the flexions. Secondly, control the neck. It means in the progression, lateral flexibility, which means suppleness and straightness, to achieve longitudinal flexibility, which means stretching the neck, tension, and forward movement. What a young horse needs, a beginner. And at last, thirdly, the flexion of the pole, which eventually ends up in a ramené, means very high. So this is the way. 1, the mouse, 2, the neck, 3, the pole. Instead of 1, the pole, and then nothing else. The information goes to the mouse. The horse is supposed to understand. You have to explain. So this is communication. And that's not all. The mouse is not only near the brain, it's also at the very hand of the neck. And it's a fantastic balancing pole, because according to the position you give to it, you change the balance. So the neck can come in a low position, in a high position, to the right, to the left, and so on. So it's by communicating with the mouse, you also control the balance of the horse. So this is your balance. Sorry. So, if through a good relationship with the mouse, you can have a good communication and control the balance, it's not that bad. It's very important. Something else. In the place where the bits are located in the mouse, the lower jaw is very sharp and right under the surface of the gum. Microfractures or extosis are easily caused by traumatism. I explain. This is a cut of the lower jaw. The middle is the tongue. On the level the bits are coming, the lower jaw is as such a shape, more or less. So very sharp and very near the surface there. What does it mean? It means that when your hands are acting on the tongue and the lower jaw from the beginning, because you are supposed to ride with low hands and to flex the pole of the guy, what happens?
I'm not even towards the next horse because I cannot.
The direction your reins are acting is this, directly perpendicular to the bars, and very strongly, because when the horse tries to open like that, and then the side rein, it stops, because either the reins break or the horse breaks. Or it keeps behind. So this is the best, the worst position, the best to damage the mouse. And it's very frequent that there are microfractures there. So like that, you try to flex the pole. First of all, we said it's not a good idea. You are mistreating the mouse, it's not a good idea. And if it doesn't work, you have no other solution than to be stronger and rough. So it's endless. The tongue is attached to half cartilage, half bone, the hyoid. It's attached to this cartilage, which has a strange shape. It's quite complex, something like that. With two sides. It looks like a curve a little bit with the curve. And this cartilage on which the tongue is attached is connected by a muscle to the pole, and another very long one to the sternum, sternum, and there are also connections to the shoulders. It means that nothing occurs, at least on the whole forehand, in which the tongue is not concerned, in other terms, the mouth. If the horse, for any reason, but especially pain of the tongue, because the oversensitive is blocking, is squeezing the jaw, blocking the hyoid, I mean, all these muscles are tight, blocked, and the whole neck is blocked. I mean, nothing is working supple and flexible. And the other, on the contrary, the other way around, I don't know what is the best expression, when there is mobility of the tongue in the mouth, then these muscles are subtly working, they stretch, shorten, and it means then the whole neck, and we could even say the shoulders at least, and by a reaction chain, or chain reaction, what do you mean? Chain reaction, we could say the whole body progressively. So if this is the tongue has the right mobility, then you can do whatever you want with the neck. That's the reason why people are very surprised if they have a bit feeling to feel how their horse is receptive and available when they start getting the mouse. Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
I also do body work, and working over the hyoid, it really affects the shoulders. So it's so connected. And you just gave me a light bulb.
So all osteopaths know it, but the riders don't want to know it. So first conclusions. The mouth is the crossroad of numerous biomechanical synergies. When the horse has pain somewhere, is blocking. When the horse is losing the balance or contracting for any reason, it blocks the mobility of the tongue. So it's one way and feedback effect. It's concerned by anything that occurs in the whole forehand of the horse, at least. Because when the horse has pain in the back, he's also contracting his neck and back. You have it's blocking the mobility of the mouth and the tongue. So a continuous pressure, even not very strong, is already too much. Why? It's the tongue is sensitive. Everybody did the experience at least once. When out of a bad movement you bite your tongue, even a little bit, you cannot move. Why you cannot move? Because you are blocking everything. I mean the same. You salivate because, but the bad way, and you are. Could imagine you have to dance with a continuous pressure like that on the tongue all the time. And I'm not even talking about the curve, because the curve, if they are 5 kilos each side, with a lever So you multiplicate the pressure. Sorry. I prefer not to think about. And the other thing is that even with a simple snaffle, when there is a strong pressure on, not even very strong, that way, what occurs? You cut the blood circulation in the end of the tongue, and it becomes progressively blue. Blue, dry, and insensitive. So the more you do that, the more you have to pull, because the horse feels nothing. I'm sure you did it already. You know, you put an elastic around your finger, you wait a little bit, and afterward you can pick the end there, you feel nothing. So it's the same. It's painful, but you feel nothing when you are picking on it. So, I mean, the idea to ride the horse with a firm pressure constantly is already a bad idea. It's bad for the bars, it's bad for the tongue. I mean, why? Because not having a better idea. Oh, let's try to find a one. An idea is not good because you didn't find a better one. It's the only one you have. But it can be a terrible one. Good. So, we go on. Now, let's talk about the mouse in terms of ethology. It has been well demonstrated, observed first, and demonstrated by ethologists that the horses express a lot with their behavior, with mimics, including the movement of the mouth, and especially in the behaviors of submission to a high-ranking one. For instance, if you are watching a mare with her foal, and the guy starts to be a bit annoying her too much, she's turning the head here like that, and the guy stops and he's doing. Stop. Yes, I do. The mobility of the mouth is relaxing the whole horse. Good. And it's a sign of gentle, natural submission. What do you need more? I mean, you relax the horse, he's in balance, you relax the horse, and you obtain a natural behavior of submission. Isn't it the best? Tight nose bend and don't open your mouth. It's right the opposite of what you should do. It's clear. And some ancient masters understood that, and among them Boucher especially. Conclusion of this. In order to become the natural leader of the horse and to influence its balance and motion through the position of its neck, first of all, the rider has to mobilize its jaw and tongue. I think it's difficult to contest now. This is a guarantee of relaxation, gentle submission, and attention to you. Because we saw, even when a horse is used to give his mouth, he's distracted by something, dead mouth. You make him giving the mouth, and again he's listening to you. In one word, confidence. Gentle submission, attention, relaxation. Good. Better than crank nose bend. How to provoke the mobility of the mouth? Without acting on the tongue on the bars. We explain why. The rider has to provide the horse with the most favorable conditions for teaching the jaw yielding. So, what are these conditions? By rising its neck, so the neck in a high position, like that, quite high. the horse is shifting the weight from its shoulders. So with a high neck, he's in self-carriage, and he has no reason and no means to lean on the bit or fight with the hand. So the high position prevents the horse from leaning on the bit. It gives giving a self-carriage situation. So another reason is when the horse is in a high position like that, he is stretching the sternohyoid. This muscle is stretched upward like that, and it's helpful to mobilize the tongue. When the horse is down, for instance, and flexing, then this muscle is short, and the horse has less capacity to use it. So this is helpful as well. And last thing, a clearly open pole doesn't put the parotids under pressure here, because there is no flexion of the pole at all. So this area is open, and the horse doesn't need to put this glandulae under pressure. So it's no pain. And the more you flex the pole, the more you diminish the capacity to mobilize the tongue. Because you put the throat under pressure, you close it to try to go on with the chewing gum when your chin is touching your ear, and you cannot. So it's the same. So all these elements promote the mobility. So therefore, it's raising its neck and opening its paw that the horse can easily learn to give its mouth. It's not with the head down, it's with a high position. How to do it? Well, you know, because you saw it. Raising the hands on the snaffle. By evenly raising its hand, what we name demi-arrêt, the rider can ask the horse to hold up its neck and keep a steady position without acting at all on the tongue and bars. Because the nerve action is only acting on the corner of the lips, so you don't touch the tongue, you don't touch the bars, and all horses naturally react to this, the lifting of the bit in the mouth, by if they try to get rid of that by opening the mouth, and if the rider release, they tend to play with the bit 1 or 2 seconds, and then progressively more and more. The movement of the bit towards the gullet is acting on the corner of the lips. It causes the jaw to release. Then as soon as the hand is lowered, the tongue is mobilized. The contact is then reduced to the minimum, half open fingers on half loose reins. Descente de main is named in old French expression. Because you drop the hand. Descente de main, if you translate, is lowering the hand. So you are acting, demi-arrêt, it's upward, and yielding, drop. Good. Next step. We demonstrated that the mouth is the first key of the education of the horse, at least to the hand, but not only. Because when we talk about relaxation and balance and attention and submission, it's not only the mouth, it's the whole horse. The next key is the neck of the horse. Why? We have to stretch the neck. Why? Because with physiology, we know that the proper training of a muscle should always start with stretching exercises. All trainers know that. Start, return to stretching frequently, and possibly finish with stretching. Osteopathy says that a free and complete lateral flexibility of the neck is an absolute necessity. What is an osteopath doing when he's manipulating a horse with difficulties? Is trying to feel everywhere, but the complete flexion of the neck is one of the first things he's doing. So why should we learn to ride the horse straight and forward and not to bend? Only for half pass in trot. I mean, it's ridiculous. So do osteopathy yourself each day. It will be less expensive. So how could we start with a partial stretching? With lateral flexions. Because if you bend the neck of a horse a lot, you stretch, extremely stretch, all the muscles of the outside part. Now, if you bend a lot, that way, for instance, this is the shoulders of the horse from the sky, bird view, if you do that, it's clear that the horse is shortening the muscles inside. Muscles of the upper line and the lower line, both. Tack, tack. But to do that is extremely stretching the outside muscles. You do it to the right, you do it to the left, you do it again to the right if it's the difficult side. And then you supple your horse and you work to make him symmetrical. Because one of the main problems with the horses is their asymmetry. So this is, the first suppling exercises you can do. You do it in halt if necessary, and then you do it in walk, and afterward you do it in trot. But the horse should be completely flexible both sides. There are masters who said horses only have lateral resistances. If you think about that, it's bloody true. Because what are your problems? On the right, I cannot bend. On the left, he's not giving the quarters. He's falling to the right shoulder. So there is one side not working. So organize to make them working the same. It's absolutely necessity. Good. So the first stretching exercises is this. And how can the horse fully bend? With an open pole again. Why? Let's see. Bird view. This is a horse in a natural position with a high and quite long neck. His ears are there. You flex or overflex the horse, and then his neck is shortening. Here. When the neck is shorter, it's less laterally flexible. This you will bend very easily. This, nothing. If you take a stick, take it on 2 meters, you will bend it easily. Take it on 50 centimeters, even being very strong, it will be impossible. And if you were already riding horses, overflex horses, you can feel that they are unflexible. The more the horse is flexing, the more he can refuse to bend. Physically, he cannot bend. For many reasons, not only that way. The extreme pressure of the parotid there, the fact that they are a part of the occiput, which are touching the first vertebra, so when you want to bend, it's blocking, no possibility to bend. Good. So again, the rider should teach the lateral flexion from a high and open pole. For this reason, you have to open the pole, the neck has to be quite long, and then you can easily bend. You can feel it all, any kind of horse you have, even horses who were very, very stiff, very refusing, when they are there a bit giving the mouth to bend them is quite easy. If acting upward, if you start doing that, you can forget. So, it's the second time we say so. To get the mouse, eye position. To bend, the same. Anyway, you need the mouse before bending, so you know it's a series. It's a process. How to do that? To bend. Raising one hand, the rider is acting on the inner corner of the lips. He achieves a jaw yielding and easily bend the neck up to 90 degrees. He makes sure that the horse doesn't lower its head or flex the pole, because this is not what you want. You want this, nothing else. Demi-arrêt if necessary, if the horse tries to come down. Good. And the rider validates the lateral flexion with a jaw yielding and a descente de main at the end in the new position. Because if you have to keep the horse in this position, it means he's not accepting it. So he's there, he's giving his mouth at it. Keep it some seconds to show me that you feel fine. Pronounced lateral flexions alternatively stretch both sides of the neck. They contribute towards symmetry and suppleness of the whole spine. In other terms, is a search for straightness. Good. So what you can bend is the neck. The rest you can forget. Yes, a horse moves because due to an undulation of his spine, even limited. So on each stride of walk or trot, he's bending once to the right, once to the left. So how is it possible that you maintain the bend around the inside leg and the horse moves? There is absolute incompatibility. And you can do whatever you want with your little legs and your spurs. You disturb the horse for nothing. Because anyway, the body is doing that. So I don't know how people can, but I've been infected by that as anybody. I needed 30 years to get rid of it. Huh? My horse is perfectly bent. Oh yes, it's nice bent around your inside leg, but your legs are going on doing that, so it doesn't keep bent around my inside leg. It's not true. There is one thing keeping bent, the neck, nothing else. So it's completely, forget this. Forget. Your legs are supposed to be used to channel the quarters in order that they keep behind the shoulders, nothing more. And it's already a lot. And then you move them to the right or to the left, but the idea that you, with your little legs, you do 500 kilos guy. No. The way to teach the flexion of the pole. How to do it? The horse is giving his mouth, so he's relaxed. He is flexible right, left. He's supple. Good. It's okay. Then now, this time, when you bend him, instead of giving outside, you are fixing your hand and resisting a bit. What happens? The horse is relaxed, giving his mouth, he's bending, and then he finds a resistance on the outside rein. You try to bend more, and in order to bend more, he has no other solution than to flex his pole. So, the bend is provoking the flexion of the pole. You will teach your horse to flex the pole by the right bend, by the left bend, in a medium position, and then progressively higher, and then you will get the right flexion of the pole. That you got never acting backward, never forcing anything. And so, you will progressively get the right flexion of the pole. This is the bad one. Huh? The horse flexing the pole, dropping his head. Bad. The right one is like that. Your horse has been vertical because being long. And then progressively, by the lateral flexion I was just talking about, you will teach him to flex from this position, from this position, from this position. So you can see that the flexion of the pole increase progressively by coming higher. So the flexion of the pole is combined with rising the neck instead of falling, coming behind. Huh? So this is the negative, the simplistic flexion of the pole, which is a disaster. An unprepared horse and immediately putting the horse in trouble. And this is the proper one. After relaxing, having the mouth, after making the horse flexible and long, and then flex the pole. It's a steady head which allows the rider to keep motionless hands. Not the other way around. On no account, jamming low hands should force the horse to get a steady head. Yeah, it's a bit subtle concept, but I mean it's easy to understand at the end. Huh? Either you think here and don't move, or you get the mouse, you follow the mouse in any direction, you make the horse relax there, flexible, and progressively has a steady head, and so you don't move anymore. So it's because he's fixing his head that you are less doing, not the other way. On its own, putting the horse in hand reveals two conceptions of dressage. One, a triangle of strength between the rider's arms and the neck of the horse. The other one is based on a dialogue between the mouth of the horse and the rider's hands. You have to choose the one you prefer. The first one is quite simple for the rider. Cluck, cluck. If it doesn't work, by the reins to force the horse to do it. But unfair and painful for the horse. It needs coercive equipment. It requires over-talented horses, and many of them disappear prematurely. The second one we were describing is very demanding for the rider. It's to say, it's very difficult for the rider, but fully respectful of the horse and easy for him. This is why it bans any constraints and gives nearly all horses a chance to achieve a high level of schooling. One just has to choose. The hand is a peculiarity of mankind, the keystone for a clever and intelligible schooling. Légèreté, it's a way to be very effective, not fighting. And if there is a real légèreté, it's also légèreté to the legs, and so the horse goes. And as he's relaxed, good balance and nice position, he goes even better.
And now to sum up. This video has set out one of the important progressions in the École de Légèreté. That is, first the mouth, then the neck, then the pole. This puts us on the path towards the round, elegant posture of the horse that we all seek. But you must meet the prerequisites before you ask the horse to yield in the pole and be round. Putting the final step first is more of a break in the connection than true roundness, and easily leads to just jamming the horse in and being overbent. The sequence we teach is this. 1. Get the mouth. This brings relaxation, balance, confidence and submission. 2. Supple and control the neck. But if you can't get the mouth to yield, don't try to bend the neck. Through a variety of exercises, you ask the horse for lateral flexibility, suppleness, straightness, stretching the neck, and straight forward movement. This absolutely must be taught with an open pole. Why? Because an open pole means a long neck. What is long bends easily, and what is short does not. An overflexed horse cannot bend to the side at all because he has such a short neck, and the muscles which are being overused to double his neck over are incompatible with the muscles which create the bend. 3. The pole. The prerequisites to being able to work specifically on rounding the horse are that you can ask for the mouth at any time, can ask for the neck to bend to the right and to the left, you can ask it to raise up and to lengthen out. You must be able to get neck extensions at any time and to do all of this with an open pole. Only then do you use the bend to ask the horse to flex the pole and be round. Once you reach the happy state of the horse being in a round position with a steady head, then you can reach the ideal where the rider can have motionless hands. But in the École de la Géreté, we absolutely do not teach it the other way around. You don't try to get a steady head with low fixed hands. Never. That's all for today. Thanks for listening.